In this video, I'm gonna give you over 25 tips, tricks, and hacks that you really need to know. We will be covering best safety tips, tricks that can enhance your car's mileage, and simple hacks to increase the life of your car. In just a few minutes, you will be pro at driving. As always, this video is packed with information, so watch it till the end. Let's begin. First, let's start with some handy tips that you should know about. What the engine RPM can tell you. How to know if the engine is bad. When you start your car, if the RPM is under 800 or above 1500, then check the engine. Between 800 and 1300 is a good spot. While we are talking about the engine RPM, you should know that if the tachometer in a car goes till 8000, it is a petrol car, and if it is limited to 6000, then it is a diesel car. You could also find which side is the fuel tank by looking at this small arrow. This is especially handy if you have just bought a new car. How to defog or defrost your windshield during the rains. If you have an automatic climate control, then there are two ways. You could either use this max button, which would do all the work, or you could set the temperature to about 25 degrees Celsius and keep the air circulation. If you have a manual AC, then turn the knob to the windshield blower setting and change the blower speed to full. Or, no matter what type of car you use, you could throw away some silica gels during the rainy season. It works as a dehumidifier. Now let's move on to some safety tips. Do not switch to neutral while driving. You may think you are saving fuel, but it is not a safe practice. You may need to accelerate or steer away, and you won't have the power if you are in neutral. Please use the hazard lights only when you are getting towed and you are slower than the usual traffic speeds, or when you are going to the side of the road, or when you have stopped at the side of the road. Please, there is no need to turn on the hazard lights inside the tunnels or in the rains. You can turn your headlights on and fog lights if you need, that is enough. Do not remove your headrest, no matter how useless it may seem. Headrest is there for your safety. In case of a rear-end collision, it can save your neck from breaking. The rear view mirrors should be adjusted in a way so that you can see the rear 10% of your car without moving or shifting. The IRVM should give you the full view of what is behind. Adjust the driving position in a way so that when you press the brake fully in, your knee should be slightly bent and the wrist should go over the steering wheel. Bring your seat back and forth till you get the perfect seating position. By the way, did you know if you sit in a lower seating position, you will get a true sense of your speed? This is the reason why SUVs always seem to be slow compared to the sedans. So lower your car seat and follow me on Instagram if you aren't already. How to correctly hold the steering. Your palm placement on the steering should be around 9 and 3 as on the clock. This is so in case of an airbag deployment, your hands don't hurt you. Your thumb should be resting on top of the steering. Here, these are called thumb rests. Don't hold the steering wheel like a tennis racket. It would limit you to do certain maneuver. Don't drive on high beam, as it can seriously limit the visibility of oncoming traffic. Keep the car on low beam always. Switch to high beam only when there are no street lights or you're on expressway driving fast and you need to see further. Let's do at least this much to respect other drivers. Next, I'm gonna give you some tips to increase your car's mileage. Tire pressure may be a really small thing, but it can greatly affect the mileage you get. Keep it at the manufacturer's recommendation. If you think it is difficult to maintain the air pressure for a long time, then try filling in nitrogen. It leaks much slower and somewhat increases the age of the tires. Don't open the windows at higher speeds. Opening the windows at higher speeds can increase the drag and puts more pressure on the engine, consuming more fuel. It's better to keep the AC on at all times. Avoid idling. Whether you drive a manual or an automatic car, it is always a good idea to switch to neutral when idling in traffic for over 45 seconds. The transmission does not care, and it makes life a bit easier for the engine. This technique reduces the amount of heat carried by the cooling system and can increase the mileage by a tick or two. Avoid sudden changes in speed. If you start to accelerate or brake suddenly, then you are burning more fuel than what you usually would. A driving style should adapt to the road. If you are on an inclined surface, Don't be hard on the throttle, accelerate gently. And when you're coming down the flyovers, make your foot light. Let the car use its momentum. You can increase your fuel efficiency incredibly. Here are some tricks that can increase the life of your car and slow down the aging. Turn on the AC at least after 30 seconds. Let the engine warm up just a bit. If you can wait, start the AC only after your car has reached the optimum oil temperature. Don't rest your hands on the gear stick. Whether you are on a manual or automatic, it puts pressure on the shaft. Both your hands should be on the steering. In an automatic car, when shifting from drive to reverse or vice versa, make sure to stop the car completely and then change the gear. Wait for about 30 seconds after parking before shutting the engine, especially if your car is powered by turbo or if you have done some spirited driving.
3 days later.
Tires should be straight when you have parked on flat surface and angled when you have parked on a slope. Cleaning with microfiber cloth will help maintain the shine and paint finish. Avoid using old cloth or any other cotton cloth. Prefer microfiber only. Links are in the description. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you liked it, go smash that like button. Watch the other car videos here. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you next week.